What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, 5 division world champion, legendary superstar, undefeated former pound for pound king, Floyd Money Mayweather, responds to that of undefeated, unified WBC, IBF welterweight superstar boxer, Earl the Truth Spence Jr., saying that in his prime he would beat Floyd Mayweather and he would beat Floyd Mayweather now. Floyd Mayweather responded to Errol Spence by saying he is proud of him. He says that's what he's supposed to say. He loves the confidence in Errol Spence, and he wouldn't want to have it any other way. He says, but you have to keep in mind that I mastered this sport of boxing. He says, and not just inside the ring, but I mastered the sport of boxing outside the ring. He says, I took care of my body. I didn't abuse my body. I didn't party and drink and put smoke in my body. I respected the temple. I respected the sport of boxing. You can't think that you're going to do what you're doing outside of the ring and think you'll be able to compete and do the things that you're doing currently in your 20s, in your 30s within the sport of boxing. He says that's not going to work. I understood and mastered the sport of boxing inside the ring and outside the ring. He says, I kept my same team around me. I didn't have to change trainers, cut men, and things of that nature. He says, Leonard Ellaby, he shouted out Leonard Ellaby. He shouted out Rafael Garcia. He shouted out Leonard Ellaby, Dewan Blake, Al Heyman, of course. His entire team. His father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., and his trainer, obviously, through the majority of his career, the Black Mamba himself, Roger Mayweather, who was his uncle and trainer. So he said that, it's more to the sport of boxing than just being able to perform when you get under the lights. He says you have to master the sport of boxing outside the ring. And that's one thing I did. I mastered the sport of boxing outside the ring. He says that's what these young fighters have to learn today. He didn't he didn't highlight just Errol Spence in that manner. He just said boxers overall. But we understood that he was talking about Errol Spence. You have to be able to debunk and decode Floyd Mayweather, right? Because Floyd Mayweather, he talks in codes, right? So he don't want to disrespect Errol Spence. But the topic at hand was Errol Spence. And he made mention of mastering the sport outside the ring and respecting your body and staying in shape. So he's also alluded to, I stayed in shape, so I never had to get in shape. I didn't balloon up in weight where I had to cut all tons of pounds, for fight night. I stayed in and around my weight and my weight class. I stayed in shape. I dedicated myself to the sport, and I didn't get in this sport to say anybody is better than me. I got in this sport. I gave the sport my life to say that I would be the best, right? So if I came up short, I gave it everything I had. I didn't have any shortcomings. So, that's when he said that he's proud of Errol Spence saying that he would beat him, right? He said that's what he didn't want to say that's what he's supposed to say. He said that shows his confidence and growth. But he said, just remember and keep in mind that I mastered the sport. Obviously, Errol Spence just recently came out and stated that he had issues with his weight and he wasn't dedicated to the sport like he should have been. He was 190 pounds for the Sean Porter fight, had to cut all that weight down to 147. So he had to drop 43 pounds, to make weight against Sean Porter. He said he wasn't dedicated in the Mikey Garcia fight. And those are the two biggest fights in Errol Spence's career outside of the Kell Brook fight in the UK. So, he said that he had to rededicate himself. At one point in time, Errol Spence had recognized and respected trainer in Blue Ray Davis, right? And he stopped working with him for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a personal issue or whatever may have you. But it seems like that's when he started to have his issues as far as cutting weight. Now, he never missed weight on the scales, but we understand, Errol Spence likes to go out. He parties, he drinks, and things of that nature, and that take a toll on you. So that's what Floyd Mayweather was hinting at, that that would take a toll on you in your 30s. So he said that if you want to maintain being at the best at the top of your game, you have to dedicate yourself to the sport and master the sport outside the ring, not just inside the ring. That's what the greats do. So, like I said, man, you know, I felt as if Floyd Mayweather did came back, now he said that he won't fight a guy just selling out cities. Now we know that Floyd, like I said, Floyd Mayweather talks in code, so you got to decode Floyd Mayweather when he talking, right? Errol Spence sells out Texas, right? Terrence Crawford sells out Omaha, Nebraska. He said that if he's going to come back and fight, have to be a guy that has a country behind him, not guys just selling out cities. He may mention an Adrian Broner. So obviously, Adrian Broner is, in my opinion, a bigger draw than all the welterweights, right? Currently, he's still a bigger draw, or at least as still the same amount of draw as Errol Spence currently. Adrian Broner is probably, outside of Canelo Alvarez, active fighters, and Manny Pacquiao, one of the most well-known fighters, not named Deontay Wilder, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, right? Actively. So that casual fans know. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, they're starting to make their name for themselves, a household name, and be able to tap into that casual market. But Adrian Broner is already there. So he alluded to, you can't just sell out cities to bring Floyd Mayweather back. You got to have a country behind you. So, that eliminated Adrian Broner, obviously. So, Floyd Mayweather, I think, if he come back, he still could be able to top the best of the best in the welterweight division. Like I said, Floyd Mayweather took care of himself. So, yes, he is 43 years of age. He's on the wrong side of 40. Yes, Floyd Mayweather, Father Time, is undefeated. But I believe his ring IQ, his ring generalship, and his dedication to the sport would still allow him to have success. And like I said, there's flaws in all these fighters, even in Floyd Mayweather, but they have bigger flaws than Floyd Mayweather has. And obviously, he's alluding to the fact that Errol Spence wasn't taking care of his body outside the ring. He haven't mastered the sport of boxing outside the ring, which would allow Floyd Mayweather to capitalize on that, because endurance and stamina is going to come into play when you're dealing with Floyd Mayweather, because he put a lot of mental pressure on you, not physical. And Errol Spence admitted that. Errol Spence said you can't mentally break Floyd Mayweather. You have to physically break him down. And Errol Spence said, I'm going to use my jab, put a lot of pressure. He felt a lot of boxers that fought Floyd Mayweather didn't keep their game plan with their jab and putting pressure on them and looking to break them down. So he said that I will break him down my jab and physically break him down and then stop him. So, but Floyd Mayweather, he's a master at this. There's a difference in good, great, and legends and special fighters and God-gifted, like Floyd Mayweather always say. You can be great, but I'm God-gifted. There's a difference. And my dedication to the sport is not going to allow me to fail. So, but I believe that Errol Spence has a whole different mindset today's time after suffering a horrific car accident October 10th. That was due to, we know that he was out hanging out and, he was quote unquote under the influence. I don't know if that played a part in suffering a car accident, but it didn't help, right? And so Errol Spence said that woke him up. He said that, he's rededicated himself to the sport. He understands that everything he got and all his lifestyle is due to the sport, and he's going to respect it. Not only that, but respect life. And, he has a mother and father who loves him and his daughters that he take care of. So he said that, he definitely has to focus, lock in, and he's rededicated himself. So, but Floyd Mayweather, I think, would defeat Errol Spence Jr. if he came back right now, because I think that his ring generalship, his IQ, and things of that nature would just take a toll in the fight. His wits and his experience, right? Like I said, a guy that would give him tons of trouble would be Sean Porter, because he's just going to completely test Floyd Mayweather's endurance. Has nothing to do with just skill. Yes, Sean Porter does have skill, but his endurance and his stamina and father time is going to be tested against Sean Porter, because he is absolutely not going to let up and give him a break. Just like we saw with Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, and Sean Porter and any other top fighters, win, lose, or draw. He's going to test your endurance. He's going to test your stamina. He's going to test your will. And Father Time, he's going to test when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. He's going to test them legs and see if they can still last for 12 rounds, because that's what it's going to take. Because Floyd Mayweather was never a knockout artist once he became Money Mayweather. He was a knockout artist when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. And so that means he's be looking to get a decision over Sean Porter, Errol Spence, or Terrence Crawford. And they're going to test his endurance and his legs. So, but that's Floyd Mayweather's response to Errol Spence. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.